Today on LU News, we will take a look at Longwood's new women's head basketball coach and the spring weekend tradition of oozeball. We'll also look at several spring weekend bands and student government President-elect Brandon Fry's goals for next year. All this and more on LU News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nicole Dales. We first bring you news of the new women's head basketball coach. After serving as the interim head coach for 4 months, Bill Ranson has been selected to fill the position full-time. According to an article in the Rotunda, the decision was made on April 7th and it was announced to the public on April 12th. Ranson tells the Rotunda it's been a lifelong dream of his to be the head coach for a Division I team. Stay tuned with LU News for more information. On April 8th and 9th, over 70 teams came out to play in oozeball, a spring weekend tradition. Teams of 6 to 8 get set up to play in the men's bracket, the women's bracket, or the co-ed bracket. In order to be eligible for the co-ed bracket, you needed to have an equal number of male and female players. It cost $5 a player. Only Longwood students were eligible to play in the games, so you had to turn in your student ID at the check-in table. Students also had to sign a waiver and wear shoes in the oozeball pit for safety reasons. Girls Club Volleyball won the women's bracket, and Men's Club Soccer won the men's bracket. Team Vito Hovan won the co-ed bracket for the 3rd year in a row. The seniors on the team said it was the best and last thing they wanted to walk away from their last oozeball game and their last spring weekend at Longwood with. And although the temperatures were very chilly, that did not stop many of the players from doing their traditional tackle at the end of the game. All in all, participants and ambassadors agreed that the event was a success. Spring weekend was filled with booths, a chili cook-off, and live bands provided by WMLU and Lansing Productions. Reporter Jessica Snyder got a chance to catch up with some of the bands that Lansing Productions brought in.
Every year, Spring Weekend brings food, music, and bands to the campus of Longwood University. This year, Jaron and the Long Road to Love, Cali Swag District, and Cartel made a stop in Farmville to give a show. I caught up with all 3 bands to learn a little more about them.
I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Jaron from Jaron and the Long Road to Love. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, what would you like to know? First of all, it's Jaron and the Long Wood to Love today.
Jaron tells us about the excitement of performing a new song in Farmville.
Well, it's always, as an artist, it's always the newest song that you've just recently written that you're most excited about. But I'm always excited to play. Especially today because it's a new band, so I'm excited to see how the songs go down.
Next up to perform were the fellas of Cali Swag District, and they tell us about their performance in the rain.
It was fun. I'm glad I didn't slip. That's all I can say.
I'm just glad the fans sticked around in the rain.
Cali Swag District tells us what they do when they're not on stage performing.
Since we are recording artists, our kickback time is usually being in the studio, chilling, working on music, getting our craft together.
Cali Swag tells us what's next for them.
We got this mixtape coming out, Deeper Than the Dougie, because we want to show people that we more than just a dance, you know what I mean? So be looking out for that towards the end of this month, because we about to go home, and we about to do our thing, we about to get in the studio.
Closing the night up was Cartel, who tells us how they got their unique name.
I was in college at one time, and I had an economics class, and we were supposed to come up with a band name that day for like our band homework, you know? And on the board, they had the word cartel written with a definition, which is separate entities joining forces to take over an industry. And I was like, yeah, that's a good band name.
Being on the campus of Longwood reminded the men about some of their own college experiences.
We sold out a show at a place that was like a small little club at Georgia Tech. And that was where a lot of us went to like a few of our first shows. So it was kind of neat to go to that venue in particular and be able to like, you know, be on the other side of where you used to stand.
Hundreds of students and community members enjoyed the free shows put on by the bands. Reporting for LU News, this is Jessica Snyder.
Thanks, Jessica. We also caught up with student government President-elect Brandon Fry to talk about what he hopes to achieve during his tenure as president.
One being to enhance the relationship between the students and the student government. Right now, students have to come to student government, and it shouldn't be that way. Student government should go to the students. We should be out here on Brock Commons and going to students and say, what do you want SGA to do? How can we help you? Another one is connecting a better relationship with the town of Farmville. We do this through the big event, but there's also has to be something else done. And then lastly, just continuing that shared governance between the SGA and the Board of Visitors, faculty and staff, and then also just the students.
This weekend is Relay for Life at Longwood. 900 students are signed up with 54 teams, and over $53,000 has already been raised. Relay for Life will take place on Stubbs Lawn from 7 p.m. Friday night to 7 a.m. Saturday morning. This is all we have for this episode of LU News. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nicole Dales. See you next time.